Well, hey folks, this is FatGuyFliesRC coming to you from the Man Cave Studios. Alright, FMS contacted me and they sent me some planes for a review, and part of their upcoming, or actually started now by November 13th, their Black Friday sale, and they sent me out a couple of planes, and one of them is this FMS F-16. This is the Thunderbird. So let's get it out of the box, go over the parts, and we'll put it together for you. I haven't opened it up yet. I've only took it out of the cardboard shipping crate. Alright, here's all the parts, how it comes in the foam coffin here. Let's change our camera views and we'll start taking it out of the box and we'll put it together. Alrighty, as you can see how everything is. First cardboard piece. First cardboard piece there. Alright, and this piece here. Now, close the wing here. So let's take manual out. Put it off the side. Okay. First off, you got your wing. And you got two connections there. You got one's labeled lights and the other one will be aileron. So let's dig the other one out there. Well, come on now. There we go. It's obvious. This one's lights and this was aileron. So, all right, set the wing off to the side there. The other wing, which is in the same deal. Okay. You got your wing spar. Okay. Okay. Right here, don't see, like right here, when I talk about things in a foam coffin, these missile rails, or missile rail system, they're the same color as the foam, so if you don't look real close, you'd miss those. Alright, you got your pop-in nose cone. Got your landing gear sections, and remember this, the nose gear actually has some suspension to it. So the only screws that you need, looks like a 2mm hex drive, and looks like they are all the exact same, so that's awesome. Got both halves of your elevators or horizontal stabilizers. Okay. Got your dorsal fins that go underneath. They just slide right in. Okay. I need to cut this one. There we go. Then we got our vertical stabilizer, otherwise known as rudder. Nice LED on top there. And then we got what numbers you want to stick on the side of the rudder, which I always choose 7 for God's perfect number. And I'll put that somewhere on here. Okay. Got your, let me see if I can pull this out of here. Your inspected by medallion. And then we got, of course, the main fuselage. Alright. Pick this up out of here without even trying not to damage anything. Okay. Now, look through all your foam coffin here. Make sure you're not missing any pieces. Okay. Alright. Now, let's grab our plane stand. And let me change camera angles to get you a little bit better of a view. Well, actually, that's not too bad right there. Okay. All right. go ahead and pull your, these are your LED connections. As you can see, got your LED connections here and your aileron servo connections here. Okay. Same on the other side. Go ahead and pull them out. Okay. Like so. Okay. Let's look inside here just for giggles. As you can see, everything is labeled. This is a plug-and-play model, so you're going to have the receiver of your own choice that you, whatever protocol. And I will more than likely mount my receiver right there with the antennas going back, depending on the type of receiver that I use. Okay, that's an outrunner. Okay, but you know what? I think that is at an angle there, so instead I'll be putting my receiver, everything's at an angle, so I'm going to have to find a flat spot to put my receiver. So I'll have to probably put it on the side over here, probably right in this area here. So we'll see. We'll have to see that in a minute. But for right now, let's just get her put together. All right. Let's go ahead and put the landing gear on first. Okay. Open up your little baggie here of screws. I highly suggest you use a magnetic tray to put all your screws in, because the last thing you want is to have a screw loose. Okay. Okay, so there's all the screws that you'll have. That's just a little Allen wrench I had in there. Okay. You'll be needing a 2mm hex drive. Let me make sure of that. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, a 2mm hex drive to put all this together. All right, so let's grab our landing gear. These are going to be the mains. And they're going to slide in like this here. See this long pole here? This is going to fit down the hole right down there, just like pieces of a puzzle. All right. And you're going to take these keyed plastic doubler pieces. They're going to fit over this shaft here. And they are keyed, curved on one end, flat on the other. That way you can't screw it up. Ah, I'm already screwing it up, because if you look, see there's a little cutout right there. Little cutout there, and look right there. There's a cutout right there. So the one that doesn't have the cutout goes on this side. And just so you know, these metal screws are going into metal housings that are embedded in the foam. That little key thing, that's just a little simple way to keep you out of trouble from doing the wrong thing. All right, so you can see how that looks, and that's in there. That has a small amount of give this way, but very little give this way, which is where the impact is going to be. And just make sure all your screws are nice and flush, not overly tight, just nice and just a little bit better than flush. That's all you got to do. All right. All right, let's turn our attention to the nose wheel. Now, the nose wheel is going to go, you're going to have this grub screw here. And inside of the shaft, you'll see how this goes. You need to loosen this grub screw here, slide this in, and then take your tool and tighten that grub screw on that shaft that's inside there. Okay? And I believe that's going to be a 1.5 millimeter. Yes, to get a hold of that grub screw, you'll need a 1.5 millimeter drive. So you're going to pull this out, just unscrew this grub screw just a little bit, not just enough where you can see down the shaft and you don't see any of the end of this grub screw. Okay, make sure this grub screw is facing towards the front of the plane or that way, because you're going to have to access it from this way. This little piece just slides right in there, and actually you may have to tighten on. Hold on, let me see how this works. I tighten up just a little bit because I got to get it in that hole there. Let me see. You know what? That's what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to take the grub screw completely out. Make sure you have it. Don't lose it. It's going to stay on the end of your. Okay, don't lose that. Don't lose that. You got to keep. Okay, don't lose that little piece. Slide that in. Goes in at an angle. Okay, that's going to fit over the shaft here. Okay, now I'm going to take this off the plane stand. I want you to be able to see this. Okay, look down that shaft there. Okay, look at how right down there. See how that space is in there. And the camera's out of focus there, but watch when I pull it out. Let the camera focus. See that hole? That shaft that you're looking at is square. Okay? So when I put that grub screw in there, it's going to tighten up onto that square section. Okay? That hole that you can see. Alright, so I'm going from this side. Alrighty. Now that we've got, like I say, put that grub screw in there, you hold it, it screws into the flat spot that goes to that little tiller arm right there. I undid that tiller arm just so I could hold it in place with my finger, hold it down, and then you may want to turn the entire assembly, okay, so that you can sit your tool, your 1.5 millimeter, at an angle to get a better grip on that screw. And that's all there is to that. Okay, so let me go ahead and put my tiller arm back on there. You just grab it, and get it lined up. Okay. It has just a little Phillips head screwdriver, or Phillips head, that holds the top of that tiller arm in there, just like that. And you can see you can turn that screw, or turn that servo. You see your front nose steering will turn on you. Turn correctly. Alright, let's go ahead and put our cap back on, get all my little screws back in there, and let's put these wings on. Actually, let's put the tail feathers on. Alright. Now, anytime that I am going to be gluing anything, okay, first thing I'm going to do is rough up the surface. Okay, and grab a hold of these the elevator leads here. Okay, I'm going to take my knife where it's at, and I'm just going to rough the surface up. Where the plane is going to be attaching. Okay. Got your elevator halves here. Undo your piece of tape that's on there. Okay. And one good thing to do, let me pause for just a moment. Alright. One thing you want to do is before you screw this into place, you want to make sure that your servos work right. So I used to use a servo tester, an old-fashioned one. Okay. And I just want to make sure that my servo works. I mean, I don't want to attach it because then it's going to be hard as the dickens to work on if it's a bad servo. I mean, I'm not shouldn't be brand new, but you know, these are man-made items, so it's important to go ahead and check them. All right. Now I know they're both working good. Set that off to the side, and this one's going to go over here, just like that. See how them decals line up? All right. Now, we need to get our glue, which I have already pulled out. Good old FMS, EPO, good old white tube glue. Okay. And I'm going to rough this surface up too. Now these have internal spars already glued in them. Just a brand new tube of glue. Okay. I'm going to show you how I'm going to glue one, and then we'll take a break, and then I'll put the other one on. It'll come back after it's set. So you just want to get your glue on there. You don't want to go crazy with it, but at the same time you don't want to be too sparing with it. I mean, this is holding your plane together after all. Yeah, that's just a bit too much now. Alright, you want that to touch. Okay. Grab a hold, let it sit for half a second, then pull it off. See those strings on there? Back on there. Pull it back up again, nice and stringy. Let that get set. All in there, nice and purty. Okay, go ahead and hook up your elevator. You can pay attention to your polarity, light to light, dark to dark, always. Okay. And that connects in there and has a nice little snap to it. Okay, we'll take them screws and get them all in there. And you might even just want to put a little bit of glue on all this just to hold all these wires down in there. And if you're very, now that sits in there like a piece of puzzle. Leave that on. Something else you can do, where I'm fortunate enough to have some white duct tape. Okay, so I'll get me a little piece of duct tape, white packing tape here. Get my knife here, and I'll just cover that up. Okay. And that's not going to look very good like that. Let's see if I can do that at an angle there, where you're not going to see them. There, and that way they're covered with white tape, and you're not going to mess up the decal, and it holds them wires in place. And I'm not going to come back later. I mean, that way I can easily pull that tape back if I need to get this. You could service it because it's right there, but still, it's always a good practice. Go ahead and check everything. Go ahead and get me a little piece of tape ready to do this other side. Okay, put that off the side there. Go ahead and rough up this surface. And let's put some glue down. Okay. Set that in there one time. Get it stringy. Put it back in there one time. Stringy. And then put it back down for good. Okay. Hold it in place for just a few seconds. So nice firm, holding it from underneath also. Let's go ahead and get our wires. Light to light, dark to dark. And tuck those wires down. Nice and pretty. Nice and pretty. Okay. And then take my already ready piece of tape. That's white and holds all that down for me. Not going to be seeing that when it's flying, and I can easily remove this tape if I need to. Alrighty, now those will hold in place pretty good. Let's go ahead and turn the model over. Turn our attention to the top side. Alright, now here you've got your rudder, and you've got, this is going to be your light. Okay, go ahead and undo that piece of tape. Pull that tape out of there because you're going to be laying glue in there, if you can get a hold of it. Okay, go ahead and take our rudder. Okay, and let's mar up the surface a little bit. Okay, all right, then mar up the surface a little bit on the inside of the foam. Okay, you're going to want to lay this to the side. This back side hooks up your light. Okay, and this is real simple. You're going to always the same thing, light to light, dark to dark. Well, in this case, you're just hooking up the dark. Okay, and the middle is the positive. Pops into place, black to brown there. Okay, the rudder, real quick while we're here. See, I didn't make sure that was set yet. Let's go ahead and check that rudder servo while we're at it. Yep, it works. Okay. Okay, hook up our rudder servo. Remember, light to light, dark to dark is always your polarity. Now I know I could be doing these assembly videos much faster by just taking pictures of stuff, but I like to show you the entire process. That's just how I like to roll. And that's just me. Okay, putting these wires down there in their little cubbies so they're out of the way. Make sure you get plenty of glue on your fingers. That is a requirement. Anytime you're putting models together, you have got to cover your fingers with glue. And then make sure you touch your face and all kinds of stuff, because it's just part of the entire experience, At least it always seems to work out that way. Alright, make sure everything's nice and pretty and glued in there good. Okay, pull it up a little bit, look for them strings, and push it back down. Okay, just like so. Alright, we're going to hold all this stuff in place, tack this stuff down, maybe some scotch or some masking tape, and we'll come back after it's cured. So, pause. Alrighty, well now that the tail feathers are all set, let's turn our attention on to putting the wings on. Okay. Again, you're going to need your 2mm hex scribe tool. Okay, where did I put mine? Right here. Okay, you're going to need your wing spar, which is around here somewhere. Okay, Got this hole on the side. Go ahead and slide your wing spar through. Okay. It's going to have a little bit of dust on it, no big deal. Take your wing, put it through on the wing spar there. And remember, you're going to hook up your wings. They're going to be labeled. Well, that's right, it doesn't matter because they're all labeled together. So grab one, plug it in, make sure that you pay attention to your polarity. Light to light, dark to dark is always the way that goes. Okay. Okay, you'll feel it slide in. Feel it kind of pop into place. Okay, feed your wires back in there because you don't want them bunched up as you slide your wing on. You want them to make sure they get in that slot. Okay, just like that. And you're going to take your 2mm hex drive and drive your screws home. Remember, these are going metal screws into metal housings, so don't be afraid to, I mean, you're not like anchoring down real hard, but a nice, good, and firm. Nice and good, firm connection there. Okay. And since this wing is easily can be taken off, I'm not worried about making sure that servo works because I can easily take it off. I'm not gluing anything in place. All right. Let's turn our plane over so it's easier for us to see, or easier for me to see for right now. Okay. And we're going to repeat the same process. Okay. I'm going to line up the wing on the wing spar. It doesn't matter which one of these connect, but they both Y in. Okay. Remember though, black to black, dark to dark, light to light, dark to dark. So in this case, the black negative is going to line up with the black on the servo lead. And of course the light to light, dark to dark over here. Okay. Go ahead and fish those in there like that. Okay, make sure they get in there. You don't want anything hanging out. You also got room inside that wing, that little pocket there. So, your wires pinched or anything. Something is not wanting to. Might be my plane stand here. There we go. There we go. Something's catching there. Ah. It's the wires. Okay. Go ahead and get your one screw in. Might have to use your body to brace it. Support it with your hand from the other side. Okay. Alright, after all said and done, you'll have no screws left. But you don't want screws loose anyways. Okay. Line that up. Support it with your hand from the underside. And you'll be able to tell when it gets bite. Sorry, my arms are in your way. Alright, that's in there. Alright, got that all on. While we've got this upside down, go ahead and take our fins. Now they go where the white is to the outside of the model. That just slides back in place like that. That goes there. Slides back in place like that. Okay. Take our nose cone. Okay. That pops on the front like, well, like that. Alright, let's move our plane stand out of the way and change our camera view. Alright, go ahead and get your wires all down inside there. Put on your canopy. Alright, get it out of the way. Alright, and that, oh wait. Still got to do our missile pylons. Rail system. They go where they connect on the plastic side, you'll see. I mean, it's kind of obvious. They slide into place just like that. Okay. All right. Let me put the number 7 on there. These are just peel and stick. I believe they are. Yeah, they're just peel and stick. And there you go. All right. That is the unbox and the very simplified assembly of the FMS 64mm Thunderbird, and it's got the front suspension in the front. Okay? All right. We'll be right back. I'm going to put a battery in it, and we're going to show the lights and everything in. Alrighty, this FatGuyFliesRC. Alright, we got the whole plane put together as y'all saw. I now have her all bound up and ready and on my transmitter. Everything's set up for flight. I've got a 2400 SMC packed right there. If you look at the very beginning of that tray, where it says I got 2400 written there, so I know with the 2400 back she'll get CG right. I got an AR630 upgraded to the latest version of AS3X Plus, which I just did that while ago with my programming cable, and CG is perfect on the plane. CG is 75 to 85 millimeters back from the leading edge root, which is where the corner of the wing touches the fuse there. And I got 2 glue marks, hot glue marks there, so I put my fingers right between them 2 hot glue marks, and she CGs just beautifully right there, basically nice and level. Okay, now I did not set up aileron or taileron flaperons. I just get just a regular 4-channel control, ailerons, elevator, rudder, throttle, and of course the nose wheel. I did set up the nose wheel gyro. I plugged that into my 5th or my gear channel. I'm sorry. I plugged that into my channel 6, which would normally have been for flaps, and then I took the little yellow wire that comes with the plane, that comes off the C lead, which is your thrust reverse, and I plugged it into my gear channel. You see, when you see that yellow on there, 9 times out of 10, that means that is a reverse function. Okay, and I plugged that into channel 5, or which would normally be my gear channel. I assign that to my I switch. That way it's a momentary. That way if I press down, braking, so turn the motor on, okay, goes forward, right? Right? There we go. Now, the way I set up, I put my flight mode where my AS3X and safe is. My flight mode B all the way down, that's safe mode, and that is self-leveling. As you can see, the plane is trying to self-right itself. AS3X mode. AS3X mode, which I got the gains adjustable on this roller here, which were very distinct for very high wind, and then when there's not much wind I can roll it down, and then very little gains or corrections from the gyro. And then I got trimming mode, which is no gyro at all. However, the nose wheel gyro will still work, or no it doesn't, not without that being on. AS3X mode. Yeah, see. Alright, now to go over my actual, I did not go by the book as far as my rates. I set up my own rates. I've flown many F-16s, and this is the way I like this little F-16 to be set up. My rates are, ailerons high rates are 100% with 40% expo. Mid are 85 with 40% expo. Low are 70 with 40% expo. Same thing for the ailerons. Same thing for the elevator. Okay. Elevator high is 100 with 40% expo. Mid rates are 85 with 40% expo, and low rates are 70 with 40% expo. My rudder, I set it as 100% one rate with 40% expo all the way around, or all the time. As far as forward programming goes, my gyro settings, my AS3X settings, the gains are one-time gains, roll 32, pitch 48, and yaw 60. I just, based upon how the control surfaces look to me, that's the numbers I picked, and I'll see how they fly. Set my priorities all at 100 on roll, pitch, and yaw. Stop lock all at 50 on roll, pitch, and yaw, and one-time gains. The nosewheel gyro is not tied to the gear to the roller there to make it adjustable. It has a set gain, and the set gain is 50 over 50. 50 for rate gain and 15 for the heading. And so you can see how the nosewheel gyro move. Of course, all the gyros are moving now because of the already hit the motor. But there's plastic cladding along the front here, which is very, very nice. You've got a detachable nose cone, a very nice bright light package. These outer missile rails are removable, and you just got one of the best light packages I've ever seen on a 64. Of course, the gray one, I had that Battleship gray one too, and ended up selling it. And then, like I say, FMS reached out to me. They said, we got to send you some planes, and we'd like you to review them. And this is one of the ones they sent me for their Black Friday sale. So the next time you see me with this plane is I'm going to put her up in the air, and we're going to get some nice flights out of her. And see, we'll probably do a speed test, do a maiden, get her all trimmed out, and then we'll do a little bit of performance and a speed run, probably do 2 or 3 flights, and combine into 2 different videos. So, all right, well, thank you so much for watching. This is FMS. Thank you for the plane. I can't wait to get it out to the field and review it for you. And I understand this time of the year, when you see a lot of my videos from late in the year, early in the winter, lots of times we just have cold days with no clouds and just plain clear skies. So we'll do the best to keep the models in nice and tight, and so you can see them a lot better. But it's real simple. You just flap in your gear, make sure you glue on your tail surfaces and everything, make sure they're nice and secure. Yeah. You can belly launch this thing if you wanted to. You'd have to remove your fins, undo that grub screw, slide this out, and take your screws out. You could, but it's got landing gear, and I've got a nice feel. But you see how small these wheels are. So I don't think I'm going to do much with the way of grass. Okay, with a grass field. So, alrighty, well there you go, folks. Thank you so much for watching. God bless y'all. FMS, thank you. And this is the 64mm FMS T-Bird Thunderbird. Bye bye.